What is the situation?
Well, I could just use one thing this morning, for example. Yesterday it is, I don't know, Mr. Buzzin side chick is the chief communication officer now for the PMP. So I saw this little poster they put out celebrating something, and it says PMP 1 year strong. And I was struck by it. I am saying that PMP is 83 years old. How how they come up with this PMP 1 year strong? And that kind of puts you sharply in focus as to what their mindset is. That this is not the PMP anymore. Them just can't say rise united 1 year strong so quickly. It is bothersome and it is hurtful and it is cause for concern. But it don't look like anybody concerned. Look at the poster. PNP 1 year strong.
I'm glad you
How
mentioned
on
that.
God's green earth can PNP be 1 year strong?
I'm glad you mentioned that, because when I
83 years
saw
old.
it, Miss Cross, I was like myself. I was in awe. Roger, 1 year strong when 3 weeks ago they were celebrating 83 years in existence.
Yes.
What is happening, Miss Cross, is a clear situation that the communication and the communique of the party is not centralized and the history makers are not assisting them in sending out the right message. Because
Well,
that is a fundamental flaw to have had 1 year. You should have been saying Mark Goling is 1 year strong as the leader or the president of the PNP. That is what they wanted to say.
Yeah, they need to find some other way to celebrate PNP and celebrate them right. But
Miss Cross,
if the comrades of the PNP, the real authentic PNP people, if they mean PNP any good, they should look at these things. But I mean, I say that with a lot of dread because right now I know that a majority of people that are supportive of Bunting's agenda, and I want to be absolutely clear that I'm not talking about Mark Golding, because Mark Golding don't have no agenda. All of this is Bunting's agenda. Mark Golding is just a vessel.
So you're saying Mr. Golding is the puppet? So you are saying, Miss Cross, Mr. Golding is the puppet and Mr. Bunting is the puppeteer?
Mark is the puppet and Bunting pulls the string.
So Karen, are you saying that the party leader,
this is
a puppet?
The party leader don't even realize he's a puppet. And I don't mean any disrespect to the party leader. He doesn't even realize that he is the party leader. I think he has surrendered the entire leadership of the party to Bunting.
But Karen, there's rumors on the ground.
I think most Jamaicans know that by now.
So Karen, there's rumors on the ground. Unfounded. Rumors on the ground to the effect that you were once in the Bunting camp. But for some reason, you fell out with them. And that is a part of the issue, that it's personal, not philosophical, not ideological. Is there any truth to that?
I am glad that you bring that up here. You know, sometimes I'm glad that people don't know me as well as they think they do. Because I ask God every day to remind me of the internal clock inside of me. To remind me that I'm just here for a little while. Therefore, I must spend my time doing the important things, saying the important things, be involved in important things that are important. When I say things that are important, like family and friendship and my party and my country and integrity, you know, things like that. So people don't know you, so people can always assume everything about you. But let me be clear. In 2019, I did support Peter Bunting to challenge Peter Phillips,
which is a right
of the party.
Yeah.
I made no apology about that. I did. I supported him 100% in 2019. Did we have a fallout? I don't think that we did. I think that I just realized from the WhatsApp groupings that I was in one or two WhatsApp groups, and from the narrative that was being circulated around that Rise United thing, that these people don't want PNP to win. That was the thing that pisses me off. People were talking about not voting. People were talking about sending out people to tell people not voting. People were talking about let Peter Phillips go and drive the ship off of the edge. People were talking about not going out to vote, and that was what pissed me off. Really, really shit me up. If you are a PNP and you challenge for the leadership and you lost, your job and responsibility as a PNP is to go out now and surround yourself with the leader and the leadership of PNP people and go and tell PNP people to go to vote.
That is true. Yes.
So that is why I moved away from them. That was the narrative being circulated. That was the argument that them was circulating. Not all of them, but the leadership. Dayton Campbell, Peter Bunting, Mark Golding, Ian Hazelton. Some of the things that they say about PNP not being able to win under Peter Phillips. Now, to be fair, during the 2019 election, I felt that Peter Phillips couldn't win either. But once he became the victor, I am a PNP and I'm going to go there and organize for PNP to win. So that whole argument was what really, really threw me off. And I felt that I couldn't
Good morning, Ms. Cross. There's an interesting question here, and many of your detractors will point out that they don't have an issue with the concerns that you're expressing, but how would you go about expressing those concerns? Because what you have just laid out is that you want the party to move in a productive direction, but many people argue that what you're doing is very counterproductive and very destructive to the party.
You know, you're breaking up and I'm not hearing everything.
What he's saying, Ms. Cross, is you have legitimate concerns as a comrade, but your methodology, for instance, the situation with Dayton and the accusation of pedophile, how that became a public matter, the situation where you're discrediting Mark Golding to say capitalist versus democratic socialist, the situation where we are hearing voice notes going around say Angela is corrupt, and all of these things. He's saying you have legitimate concerns as a comrade, but do you believe the way in which you have gone about has also festered a greater wound within the party, rather than help it to grow in the right direction?
Correct.
What's your take on that?
Sometimes you have to tear down something for it to be rebuilt.
So you mash it down.
It was always my view from 2016, from we lost the general election in 2016. I went to the Region 3 Management Committee. At the time, Comrade Paul was the regional chairman. And that first regional management committee we had after we lost in 2016, my contribution to the meeting was that now is a good time to mash it up.
And reset.
Fix it up.
I said in the regional management committee, now is a good time to mash up PNP.
Mash up mean.
Here's
the truth.
Nobody took me on. They went down with the same old house, or as Angela Bromberg said, old bus, and trying to fix it up with old parts and used parts to see if it could work. It should have mashed up from 2016.
Oh, you said too much scrap metal, Miss Cross.
Great we would have been now if they could just mash it down from 2016.
But
tear it down completely.
Yeah, in truth.
All of that old things, take out all of that, the bushing, take out that old engine, take out all of them steering wheel and put in some brand new stuff.
Ms. Cross, what exactly did you make by mash it up? What would that?
Burn it down to the ground, mash it up. Get rid of all those people who have become so entrenched in them power and them MPship and them councillorship and them power in them regions and them constituencies, and yet they could not deliver the vote for PNP.
You know,
serving for so many years.
Miss Cross,
all of them that lost. We should have cut them right away.
I respect your position because the public sees you making so much noise and don't know your thinking or your philosophical definition of what you mean. So they're looking on and saying that they really just want to tear down the PNP. I've always said there's a wound that has been in the PNP from the time that Peter Phillips and Portia ran that election. I think back in 2007 thereabout. And you always hear comrades, me and Portia right and me and Dr. Phillips right. Now you hear me and Bunting right, me and Mercat clan, me and Rise United, me and Golding clan. Miss Cross? I am of the view that the People's National Party also, I'm of the view it needs an ethnic cleanse. There's too many hidden agendas and too many self-aggrandizement that people don't no longer see the PNP for the philosophies of Michael Manley and Norman Washington Manley. We always hear of Michael do this for the PNP. But the generation that is voting don't know of bastard policies. They don't know what Michael did. And the PNP has never done anything to digitize Michael Manley so that people can see Michael Manley. My generation don't know about Michael Manley. We just hear people say, Manley send we go to school, Manley give with this, Manley give with that. But has the PNP done any service to digitizing and putting Manley in this generation for them to understand? You know what the Labour Party has done? The Labour Party has modernized their everything to see this is the champion. Them put Siaga beside what? I trust NTA. They say Siaga want to give you a skill. Siaga want to do this for schooling. Siaga wanted to do this for road. Have the PNP use the time is cross to be relevant with the digital divide that is happening in politics, to modernize their communication. You said something earlier today that the Marcotte clan has taken over. Do you believe the Marcotte clan this morning, Ms. Cross, has the interest of the PNP in making it relevant for all PNP or some PNP?
The relevance of the PNP has never been a concern for Peter Marcotte one thing. The relevance of the PNP has never been his focus. He just has this driving ambition that he wants to be party leader, wants to be prime minister.
But isn't that ambition far-fetched at this time? It means
that he needs to rebrand the PNP, like what he's doing now with the Rise United thing. If it means that that is how he's going to rise to the office that he wants to rise to, then that is what he will do. And that is what they have been doing. They have been removing and cleansing PNP. They don't see Michael Manley, they don't see Norman Manley.
Wow.
They have been trying to rebrand the PNP into a different party. And that is where they're making a great mistake, because I don't think that will work, but they're brighter than me, so maybe.
So Karen, I'm going to shift focus a little bit. I love a good fight, but I like to see fighters win. You've been taking on some battles that have not necessarily played in your favor.
But you're still fighting.
You took on Dayton Campbell, and legally, you are on a weak stand. You took on the party, you were locked outside of the gate.
Expelled.
Expelled from the party.
Sad.
That's not a winning streak. What is your long aim? And is it a lose for? Is it a losing for you, or you're seeing it in a bigger frame? Talk to me, because I think it's important. I think it's important for Jamaica to understand
why you continue.
Yes. And what's the aim? What's the goal?
What's the objective?
Well, first of all, these are battles. The war is a much bigger thing.
All right.
These are battles.
Come on now.
Lincoln lost the first battle of the Civil War, lost about 3 or 4 afterwards, but he won the war. So I am not perturbed by what you just said. But I want to make it clear that my own internal philosophy is far greater than that and far more spiritual than that. Sometimes you can lose a battle, and that doesn't mean that it wasn't worth fighting. Sometimes you even lose a war, and that still doesn't mean that it wasn't worth fighting. So I have lost some battles there, but I am absolutely certain that I'm going to win the war. So I am not concerned about that.
Well, Ms. Cross, can you win a war? Can you win a war when you have dubbed your General Secretary a pedophile? Can you win a war when you have dubbed? Can you win a war when you have dubbed the chairman the most corrupt woman in the party? Can you win a
battle is still pending?
Okay, but what I'm saying is, Cross, I've always said if you're a true PNP or a true member to any party, it's not every message you carry publicly.
Yes.
Because what you have done is that this man's career now as a medical doctor is life-threatening. He has built so much and dedicated it to the PNP. And now it begs the question if I should ever have a daughter, even have a son, if I would want to have Dr. Campbell around them. Because you have put him in that light, Miss Cross. And I am saying to you, would you have felt good that somebody accused your child, your son, your daughter of that kind of nature and bring it publicly, Miss Cross? The man's career to the PNP has always been one of service and dedication. Despite he might be on another side or being, as you said, leveraged to name Peter Bunting or dedicated to Bunting's agenda. But he's still a comrade, Miss Cross. How can you do a comrade like that What is your situation? What are you going to say to comrades? That you have a war, you say you need to clean the party, mash it down and fix it up. Do you think that when the Labour Party go in the next election and Dr. Campbell or Brownberg is on a slate, them can bring up those slates and say, but are your own comrades say you're a pedophile? How can he speak from a position of genuineness and authenticity? Boy, Miss Cross, if it was me, it's like you tell me, say if a man around me, or little boys around me, I'm a pedophile, right? It mash up the human, it mash up his credibility, Miss Cross. How do you, as a comrade, tell Dayton this morning, sit in a meeting with him for future, to say to him, say, boy, Dayton, I am sorry. Come on, Miss Cross, I think as much as you have such great passion for your party, your methodologies.
She doesn't have to come on.
Oh.
I want to hear Karen's response to that.
You want me to respond to all of that?
Yes, man.
Which Karen just responds to the juicy part.
Talk it out, Miss Cross.
All right. Well, I make no apology for exposing Dayton Campbell. None. Because the entire PNP leadership in St. Anne and the entire PNP leadership knew about his affinity to underage girls. And we shouldn't be talking about this on the radio.
Agree.
Yeah, we agree. Let us move on.
The court thing.
Yes.
But so let us leave that part alone.
Agreed.
But I will never apologize to him. And here is why I will never apologize to him. And if anything, I'm going to apologize to him. He is and he will apologize to me. When do you think that I wanted to make this public?
I don't think so. I think you're being locked out.
I did not want this to go public. I wrote to John Jr. on March 7th a private letter. And John Jr. and I spoke on the phone for about 20-something minutes. He and I spoke on the phone. And all I wanted from that, and I want the comrades to know, who think that I brought this out into the public for some kind of nefarious reason. All I wanted from that, I am telling you, is for John Jr. to go talk to the leadership of the PNP and for somebody, 2-3 people, to call me and say, you say this thing, bring some evidence, come shows and let us talk about it. That was my only expectation from that discourse with John Jr. I had absolutely no other expectation. I never had in my wildest dream that it would have reached this. Because I know the PNP, if under Michael Manley, under PG, under Peter Phillips, under Portia, a group of people would have gotten together, look at what I have said, call me in privacy and quietly, we have breakfast or lunch, discuss the matter, and I'm telling you now on this program, had they said to me, all right, Karen, we got this. Our influence low, we'll take care of it. That would have been the end of the matter. But
because you're a true comrade at heart.
I never knew it would have blown out to this proportion. But they were the one who set that in motion.
So for every action,
by their refusal.
So for every action, there is an equal.
And asked me to come present some evidence to them and to speak to them about it. And from the moment they refused to do that, there was just no stopping this train. It was going to end up the way it has because of the decision they took.
Karen, can I talk to you about the expulsion?
Yeah, man, you can.
The process seemed very strange to me. What's your feeling towards it? And do you feel excommunicated from the party at this point, or your head is bloody but unbowed?
We kind of look like the celebrity in all of this.
Listen, nobody can expel me from PNP. I want to make that clear. Absolutely nobody.
You know, you sound like a warrior.
From PNP. PNP is my blood, they are PNP. But they have also, once again, that's why you're talking about the battle and the war. That they threw out this expulsion thing on that particular day because of 3 reasons. One, they were absolutely embarrassed by the protest of September 23rd. Totally embarrassed them, and once again, they brought that on themselves by their actions. Had they not locked that gate, in my mind and the other comrades' mind, my team who we planned it, had they not locked that gate, we would have been inside the PNP headquarters, sitting down, holding a vibe with Norman Manley's spirit and Michael Manley's spirit, and the people who come to support Comrade Golden. We and them would be rapping. We don't know how that would have ended. But once again, their actions determine how that.
You know, Miss Cross, I'm glad that you said that because
they look like idiots. So the first reason is they were embarrassed by that. We totally embarrassed them, and I have no apology for that. Embarrassed them with that. The second reason is there was this thing with Bunting and Tapi and Vast Visa, and they wanted to get that out of the headline. And the third thing is they wanted to shut me out of the RUC, which they were successful in doing. So those are the three reasons why they threw up.
You know, Miss Cross, I'm glad you bring up those points. I'm glad you bring up these points. You know,
I have never taken them expulsion thing seriously.
You know,
apparently they set up a process in motion, and I'm following that process.
I respect that. But Miss Cross, you brought up the leadership of Manley, Norman, Portia, PJ, Dr. Phillips. When I see comrade disgruntled, you know, and them said them going to have a protest, as a little boy growing up, I would see the first person come out is the party leader to greet you. For say, comrade, what are you upset about? Come and cook a drink and talk.
Now you're talking.
This present leadership lock you out of the party.
Come out and say, what is FF? What are you doing? You, come inside here all the time.
What? No, Miss Cross.
Roberts, Peter Phillips as General Secretary. Somebody would have made a move. We went down to the leader of the opposition office, and we deliberately didn't tell everybody we were going down to the leader of the opposition office. Because I knew Mark was going to be down there, and I thought to myself, I wonder if Mark could behave differently when he by himself and see some PNP people. I wouldn't go in there, but I would carry some PNP people that would have gone in there and talk with him. But what did he do? He firstly sent some people out, come and lock the Queen's opposition gate. So he locked the gate first.
Mighty
then
God.
Then him stay upstairs, peeping through a window behind a curtain, looking out at us.
So that's all like Bakra Master.
Really aggravating.
No, Miss Cross, that's all like a Bakra Master. No, Roger, that's an insult.
Andre, we will not countenance your
It's an
depiction
insult
of a politician as a Bakra Master.
No, but if the man looking from upstate on estate, he said go on.
But he is Bakra Master.
Mighty God.
But why you don't want to talk about it? He is Bakra Master. Mark is the last year of the plantocracy in Jamaica. We can't. That is not saying something bad about him. That is his heritage. That is
no, Miss Cross.
Right.
No, Miss Cross. But we go back to the conversation this morning. The leader, Roger,
the
gentlemen.
books are there. You can't cleanse these things, my friend.
Karen, I don't have any data to prove. I don't have any data to prove that Mr. Golding is related to the plantocracy.
Yes, but I'm going to say Miss Cross and Roger and Ricardo.
Yes.
I'm glad that you were on the program this morning, because you have cleared a lot of ambiguity in the spaces. And I'm going to say, I've heard they have a unity commission, and I heard the chairman of the party saying that she's going to put forth a truth and reconciliation committee. If it is that
chairman of the party said what?
She's putting forward a truth and reconciliation committee to consolidate.
I want to laugh, but I don't give a cup of tea yet. I can't do that.
Miss Cross, you know, they would have said Tamarine. I forgot to say shake her this morning, because you deserve a shake. But Miss Cross, Mark Golding represents a new era of politics, and you have said that you guys have been inculcated on and love a style where there's inclusive leadership, where the leader gives, a talk and he will accommodate you. So you're saying, Miss Cross, are you willing to have a sit down with Mr. Golding?
Absolutely.
To tell him the truth. So Mr. Golding, on this program this morning, sir, we ask you to make an accommodation in the interest of Miss Cross, an ex-PNP member.
And I will bring cornbread.
And you do cornbread and him drink.
Yeah, man, I make the best cornbread this side of the
all right, so make sure you send some for us on Freshstart.
You bring the drink and I bring the cornbread.
Sounds good. So Mr. Golding, we're challenging you this morning. We're challenging the General Secretary this morning. We're challenging the chairman and the leadership of the PNP. I'm a chef, I love doing these things,
Listen, we are up on a break. Karen,
Holy Ghost,
you have to come back.
Hallelujah. Mr. Goling sits with her, we want to hear the counter.
You are now deemed a friend of Freshstart.
Yes. And it's not many who have been deemed a friend.
That's an honorable position.
No man, you come when you see when you have the tea, you see when you have the tea, when you have the cornbread, when you have the juice.
There's insignia for that or something like that.
Listen to me, this is a special climate that comes with it. And a special place in the studio for you.
But
anytime
there's one final thing. Miss Cross, you see the same energy we take on for why they come with them. The injustices which Jamaica face, you know. I think you need to take it on for go take on Brogard. Because
that is what we want to take on, but it's only a united PMP can do that.
That is true.
But I want to make one point in this. Mark Goling is not the bad guy in this. I think given a chance, Mark Goling could actually make it work.
Whoa.
But Peter Bunting will not allow that. Peter Bunting wants the party to continue to be divided. Peter Bunting wants this angst to continue because it's the only way him can discredit Mark Goling and then he can make whatever moves.
But aren't they best friends, Miss Cross? Miss Cross, they're best friends, and if they're business partners, they should be having each other's back.
No, they're not friends anymore. They were friends before, but now Mark has Peter Bunting's seat, and Peter Bunting wants his seat, and him going to continue to discredit Mark until him get him away.
So, Miss Cross, you said you're a true comrade. Will you and others in the PNP make that happen? Make Peter Bunting take over the party?
The money is talking loud in the PNP. You know, Bunting is investing heavily in some PNP comrades who have some real financial issues and not beating them up that them taking Bunting money to massage his ego. But that is what's working now, and I think that.
So you're now saying, Miss Cross,
it's only the good Lord going to step in. And as usual, and mash up Bunting plan. And
so I think we need to get Mr. Bunting on the program, gentlemen, to counter these claims to say he has no self-interest in the politics of the leadership of the PNP. He's doing Miss Cross. I believe in a check and balance and to call them out.
He will do whatever it takes.
Mr. Peter Murcott Bunting.
And so the real person mashing up the PNP is really Peter Murcott Bunting. And now Angela Brownberg as chairman, the most divisive person in the PNP. And I don't know where we're going to go and where comrades going to wake up. But I'm confident, I can tell you this last thing, I am confident that the PNP comrade is going to wake up one morning and understand what is happening. Because this is the People's National Party. And I have every confidence that one of these days they're going to wake up.
So wake up and smell the coffee.
Brownberg is divisive, and she said that she's going to do this and she's going to do that. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt and just watch them.
All right, Miss Cross, thank you for being on Freshstart this morning. I remember we said you're dubbed a friend of Freshstart. Mr. Bunting, Mr. Bunting, Miss Cross has played it out. She said that you are the one behind the dysfunctions in the PNP. We are inviting you on the program this week to say the truth, the lies, and what goes and what don't go, so because we need to clear up this thing, man. If the PNP want to be a credible opposition, Mr. Gunting, if people are saying that you are the one behind